The SQL where class. The where class is used to filter rows from a table based on a condition. So we give a condition and according to that condition, the rows are selected. To simply explain, think of where as a filter in Excel. It shows only the rows that match your criteria. So that's how it filters. And there are some comparison operators that we can use to do this filtering. So what are comparison operators? Comparison operators, they compare values and return either true or false. For example, if you say salary is equal to 60,000, if the employee's salary is equal to 60,000, it says true. If it is not, then it gives the false. So whenever the true is resulted, then that row is displayed. So to simply explain, they help SQL decide which rows should be included in the result. If you see here, equal to is one of the comparison operators where on an employee record, on an employee table, we are putting a condition like salary is equal to 60,000. So if it has got 10 employees, it will go and search all the 10 employees and sees whose salary is equal to 60,000. And then only those employee rows are written and shown as a result. And same goes with the greater than operator. Greater than operator we can apply on salary. If you say that where salary is greater than 60,000, then it returns the employees whose salary is greater than 60,000. So all the employees whose salary is less than 60,000, they are not shown up in the results. Even equal to also not shown up because the operator is greater than here. And same goes with the less than, where salary less than 60,000. So it will again filter on the salary where whose employee salary is less than 60,000. It will show only those employees whose salary is less than 60,000, not greater than 60,000, not equal to 60,000. So it will go again, it will go through all the records of the employees, it will search for the salary, and if the salary is less than 60,000, then yes, that employee is displayed. If it is not, then it is not, then that employee is not displayed. And comparison operator. So here what we do is we take two columns and then we try to do this comparison where department is equal to IT. So we are saying that the employee should belong to IT department and salary is greater than 65,000. So now it goes through all the records of the employees and it will check what is the department of that employee, IT or not. If it is IT, then true. And it also checks whether salary is greater than 65,000 or not. If it is greater than 65,000, then it is a true. Only true conditions will be taken and those employees are shown. So when I say true of department is equal to IT and salary greater than 65,000, if a department is not belonging to IT, but salary is greater than 65,000, that record is not shown. That employee will not come up because both the conditions in where clause has to be true if you are putting AND operator. So it returns rows where both conditions are true. R is different from how AND operates. Here it returns rows where either condition is true. So here if an employee belongs to department IT or a department HR, either ways it will pull the record. It will go to an employee record and will see whether this department belongs, whether this employee department belongs to IT. Okay, he will be in the results or she will be in the results. Again, or if that employee department is HR, yes, then they are in the result as well. So either of the conditions are true, then it is shown in the results. In operator. In operator is an easy version of OR, where you are saying department in IT, HR or finance. So instead of writing department is equal to IT or department is equal to HR or department is equal to finance, what we are doing here is department in IT, HR, finance. So this is OR operator in between IT, HR or finance. So it returns rows where the value matches any value in the list. So if employee belongs to IT or if an employee belongs to HR or if an employee belongs to finance, they are shown in the result. Like operator. Like operator is used to do a while search. So if, for example, if you see here, like m percentage, if you're putting percentage, any characters that come after m are satisfied in this condition. Whether it is Mark, Muhammad, Manish, anybody can come into the results if their name starts with M. Let us see some examples in PL/SQL developer. So first I will execute. So these are the employees we have, where we have 10 employees who are belonging to some sales department, IT department, HR department, and finance department, and they have different designations to them, and their salary also varies. So now we will see one after the other filter we can apply on where condition and in where clause. So here the first one is all IT department employees. So I just mentioned department is equal to IT and the table is employees. So in employees table, where department is equal to IT, I wanted to get the results. So when I execute this one, you can see that all the IT department related employees are displayed. So this is that simple. And the next one is employees whose salary is above 60,000. Okay, so let us see the whole employee list again. And if you see, there are few people whose salaries are greater than 60,000. So these are all should come up when I execute this query. So the simple query here is you are again selecting from employees and you're saying that whose salary is greater than 60,000. So if you see here the results, everybody's salary is greater than 60,000. And same goes with the less than. So on employees table, again you are putting a condition on salary where it is less than 55,000. So let us try executing this one. Yeah, so these two results that came up has salary less than 55,000. And we can also put equal to here. So it will bring if anybody's salary is 55,000. See here, these two people have 55,000. So after putting equal to, they too appeared as well. So results before equal to is only 2, and after equal to with less than we get 4 records because two people, William and Sarah, both have 55,000. And if we don't want a salary per people per employees whose salary is not 55,000, then if you put less than and greater than, which is equal to less than means not equal to, right? So if I execute this, it should bring up all the employees whose salary is not 55,000. See, if you see here, nobody is there whose salary is 55,000, but we know that there are people who has 55,000, right? Let's see who are those. See these two people didn't come up when I did this operation. It is not equal to 55,000, and this can be achieved in this way as well, not equal to, right? So not equal to, greater than or less than are both same. So now let us see uh, whose department is IT and salary is above 65,000. So we have two conditions here. One first condition is their department should be IT, and second condition is salary should be greater than 65,000. If these both conditions are true, then only we will see the results. So if you see here, department is IT, yes, true, and salary is greater than 65,000, yes. That's the reason these two results came up. That's how AND operates. And let us see how OR operates. This is the employees table. We are saying that bring in employees whose department is HR or department is finance. So we should see both the department people here, HR and finance. Looks like we don't have any finance department. That's why we didn't get anybody here. Let's see any other department. Did I spell it wrong? Yeah. So case, lowercase and uppercase problem. Yeah. So here, yeah, case should match. If you see here, my condition is the department should be HR or department should be finance. So it went through all the records, and whoever satisfies whether it's a department HR or finance are pulled up here and the results are shown. This is how OR operates. And in is a easier version in writing, but it acts exactly like OR. So instead of writing department is equal to HR, department is equal to finance, department is equal to IT, or department is equal to sales, what we can do is just we can list those departments here and say if this employee falls into any of this department, then bring those employees. So if you see here, IT, HR, sales, it looks like there are no employees in capital sales. So let's see here. Yeah, see, we got IT people here, HR people here, and finance employees here. So that's how in operates. In and OR are similar in nature, but different in syntax. Okay, and then I want to search all the people whose name starts with capital J. John, James, Jennifer, right? That's good. Let us try something else. Again, same. And we see. So here, what we are saying here is anything that's come, any characters that come before A and any characters that come after A, bring those employees. So in Williams, we have A here. All these characters are before A and after A. After A, we have M. Same way, A and before and after A. So all these conditions satisfied. Even if there are no characters, it will bring up like Linda. Okay, so this means any number of characters or no characters as well. So that's how like operator works. So you use like, and then if you don't use percentage, it still works. But the major purpose of using like is where you use this percentage operator to search with. So if you are using like but you don't use any percentage operator, it becomes equal to. It is same as equal to in that case. Okay, and let us see all possible operators in these where conditions. Okay, so by now you might have understood how these operators work. So it says salary is greater than or equal to 50,000. So it will pick employees whose salary is greater than or equal to 50,000 and salary is less than or equal to 80,000. So now it puts a condition. It should employee's salary should be greater than or equal to 50,000 and less than or equal to 80,000. That means all the employees whose salaries falls in between 50,000 and 80,000 and equal to 50,000 and 80,000 will be part of this search. And there is another condition here. Their department should not be finance. And next condition is department should be or they may belong to IT or HR or sales, but they should not belong to finance. That's what this AND condition says. And employee name should start with J. This is another condition. So these are all AND conditions, means everything has to be true. And their hire date should fall in between 2020 2023. So these are the hire dates. And their designation should not be null. That means they should have a designation. Let us run and see how this query works. So with all this criteria, we have only one person, that is John. And we can see if there are any people who are not really starting with J. Yeah, there is Mary and David. If you see here, Mary department is HR, falls in HR. And Mary's salary is 50,000, equal to 50,000. Yeah, equal to 50,000. And less than 80,000, yes, satisfies. And then hire date is from 2020 to 2024 approximately. So yeah, she is in 2021. So that is also good. And there is a designation. So that's how we can use combination of operators and get the results. So this is how where class operates, and this is what the filtering is. What are aggregate functions? Aggregate functions perform calculations on multiple rows and return a single result. So simply to explain, they summarize data. For example, if you want to find how many number of employees are there, then what we do is we will select from employees table, and we say count of star. When we say count of star, it goes through all the employee records and it will make a count of them and it will display that it is 5. So the number of employees in that table are 5. That is count. And if you want to know, for example, there are 10 employees and you want to know the sum of all the employees, right? So how much you are paying to all the employees. There are 10 employees working in a company and owner wants to know how much salary he is paying to all his employees. Then the equation is select sum of salary from employees. So what you're saying, you're saying that go to employees table and sum all the values in the salary column. So it goes there. There are 5 records and each of them have like 60,000, 50,000, 70,000, 55,000, 80,000. So it's adding up all these things and it says total of all salaries. And what is average? So now you want to know how much average salary you're paying as a company. So then what it does is it will first sum up all the salaries and then it divides by the count of records. So 3,15,000 15,000 is divided by 5 and then we get the salary. Average salary is 63,000 for that company. And for example, you want to know what is the maximum salary you are paying. So you want to know to if you are paying any employee maximum salary, what is that? So it returns the highest value in the table, which is, if you see here, 80,000. So the highest is coming, and the same way minimum, that is the returns the lowest value. Minimum is, if we can see here, 50,000. So this is like on a table you are working on multiple rows. In a table you are working on multiple rows to get a single value. That's the reason it is called aggregate. So it is a aggregate function. It works on whole table. It doesn't work on a single record. It works on multiple records in a single table, and it will bring us the values. Let us see something in practical. Okay, so let me fire this one to understand how many employees there in the employee table. So we have 10 employees. Okay, let us see. Yeah, you see here we have 10 records. So instead of running through all the records and see how many employees are there, we just fire count of star and it gives, okay, these are the number of employees in your organization. And if you want to see how many people are there in a certain department, so right, so if you see we have different departments. If I run this query, you can see people from different departments, and but I don't want to know everybody now. I want to know how many people belong to IT department. So what I do is I say select count from employees. I'm counting from employees, but one condition, that is department is equal to IT. Now let us fire this query and see. 3 people are part of IT department. Let us see for whole employees table. Yeah, 1. We have John, we have David, and we have Mike belongs to IT. So that's the reason we are saying 3 as the count. And next one is salary. What is the sum of the salaries we are paying for the employees? The owner is correct. So which is equal to 61,000. So it is adding up all the records summary. It is adding up all the salaries here, and that is what it is giving as sum. And average is by 10 of what we got for the sum. So it summed up all the salaries and then it divided by the count of employees. So that's how the average has come up. Okay, and let us see what is the maximum salary. Maximum salary is 80,000. Let us see that here. See here, the maximum is 80,000. And what is the minimum? 45,000. Let us see by firing the minimum salary now. Yeah, it is 45,000. So if you see these aggregate functions, min, max, average, sum, count, these are operating on the table. Okay, okay, and all records of the table, not on a single record of the table. That's the reason these are all called aggregate functions.